Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Bree. Hi if you're new here. Big hi if you're new here because oh my gosh, like in the last 2 weeks I think I've gained 50 followers and it's mind-blowing. So super hi if you're new here. But of course, hey if you've been here before. I appreciate all my subscribers and man, this is so exciting. I am over 200 and just thank you guys. I know it's like a small milestone for some people, but I'm just eternally grateful that you are here and willing to listen to me ramble. Anyway, today I'm going to be doing a tag video. I do love tag videos and typically I can keep them very brief. So we are going to try to make this video under 15 minutes because I know some people who watch my videos recognize that I have a lot of long ones and I apologize for that. So without further ado, let's get into the Intimidating TBR Book Tag. So this TBR book tag is all about books that haven't gotten to, I think, yet. So the first question is, what has been a book that I've been unable to finish? The only book that comes to mind right now is Noir, Crimson Shadow novel by Nathan Squires. I actually got farther than I thought I did. I got to 140 pages in. So not too bad. But this book was just kind of messy. It's an independently published book and it just felt like there wasn't a lot of editing done because the book jumps around a lot and tries to confuse you, but by doing so it literally leaves you confused. And it's supposed to be a vampire novel and how this teen, like an 18-year-old, ends up becoming a vampire or like becoming what he should be or something like that. And there's some interesting parts, like the vampire lore in this, like there's two different kinds and that's super interesting. And some of the other like mythical creatures in here are also interesting, but it's just very amateur is like the word I want to say, and I hate using that because it makes me sound pretentious, but I just felt like it could have gone through a little bit more editing and maybe been interesting, but because of that I haven't finished it. I want to finish it because he signed the book for me and that was very nice. I met him in person, but I haven't finished it yet. Question number 2 is, what book have I yet to read because? So, a lot. If you look behind me in this lovely room that we're in, I have a lot of books around here. And a lot of them I haven't read. I definitely own more books that I haven't read than I have at this point. Because my problem is I will unhaul the books that I don't ever think I'm going to read again. But by doing so, I end up bringing more in. So it's always a constant, really revolving door of books coming in and out of my house. However, most of the books that I haven't read, I will say the shelf behind me, I don't know where on camera, behind me, most of the books that I haven't read on that shelf have been because they're either classics or just books that people told me so many years ago to read, and that I hadn't gained enough interest to actually read on my own, but I do want to read them, especially the fairy ones, because fairy books have always interested me, but I haven't gone back and read the classic YA 2000s, 2010 fairies. So I'm going to say that as my answer. Question number 3 is a book that I haven't had the time to read. For this one, I'm going to go with what my one friend always yells at me that I haven't read, and that's anything Brandon Sanderson. I say I haven't had the time because I do think I would want to physically read those books because they're gigantic. And I think a lot goes on because they're high fantasy. So I would definitely want to read them physically. But I know they're going to be time consuming because I am a slower reader and that's why I keep putting them off. This is very similar to the Game of Thrones books. I own the 5 of them that are out so far, and again, I think I would like them and I think I would want to read them, but because they're so big and there's so many at this point, they're going to be time consuming and that's why I haven't picked them up. Question number 4 is a book that's a sequel, and I have 2 that come to mind immediately. The first one is A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir, which is the continuation of An Ember in the Ashes. I own this book and I own the 3rd book, and the 4th one I already pre-ordered because I really liked the first book and I have a feeling I'm going to like the whole series. But I was going to be in a buddy read and the buddy read kind of fell off the wagon at book 2 and then I just never continued with the series. And then my second one is Kingdom of Copper by S.A. Chakraborty, and this series is, again, I actually listened to the first book on audio and I loved the audio, and I just haven't picked the other one up, mostly because it's not actually that big of a book. It is 600 some pages, so it's a little bit thicker, But I know I would actually, either listening to the audio or reading it, I will get through it. I just haven't done it yet. So, I don't know. If you're going to pick one of these for me, let me know down below which one would you choose to continue, because this series is complete and this series is going to be complete by the end of the year. So I should really finish both of them. Question number 5 is a book that's brand new, and this is so new, it's still in the packaging. And this is Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angeles, I think is how you say the last name. It looks like Angels, but then it has an extra E in there. It throws me off. I actually was so excited. I got this book in an Owl Crate in the June box, and spoiler alert, I guess, if you haven't got an Owl Crate yet. But I pre-ordered this after watching the author talk about this book in a live stream. And I was so excited about it because she pitched it as like the Phantom of the Opera meets Moulin Rouge, which are two of my favorite things in the world. So I needed this immediately. And I was so lucky to be able to get this beautiful hardcover edition from Owl Crate. I do want to read this, and this is probably going to be bumped up maybe after Camp Nano was done, or at least when I finish my current project in Camp Nano. I would hope to get it this soon. So question number 6 is, what book on my TBR is from an author that I've already read but didn't enjoy their first book? This is another super hard question for me because I've definitely given authors a second chance, but I've actually read those books already, and nothing else comes to mind immediately except for Clockwork Angel, the Infernal Devices series, or any other Cassandra Clare books, because I recently finished The Mortal Instruments and it was just okay. Like, it doesn't really make me want to continue her series, but I heard this is a fan favorite. The Infernal Devices, I hear, is better. And then I've heard mixed things on the next one, the Queen of Air and Darkness one. What is that one called? Something. Whatever that one is. I've heard mixed feelings on that. So that's why I'm a little iffy, just because I really didn't connect with The Mortal Instruments as a lot of people have. And maybe it's because I read it later. So I'm going to include this as my book that I've read a book by the author and was iffy on. And now I'm going to try to give her a second chance eventually. Question number 7 is a book that I'm just not in the mood for. And if you go look on my Goodreads right now, everything that's listed there. I'm having such a hard time picking up a book and sticking to it. I have tried Pestilence by Laura Thalasel, whatever her last name is. It's a very big book. It's about like the 4 horsemen coming to the world and like ending our universe. And I think I'm going to like it. Just not in the mood for it. I also started My Calamity Jane, which is definitely a fun time, and I thought that's what I was in the mood to read. Turns out I was wrong. I just don't know what I want. And I've also started a couple other books that I just can't seem to keep with. But I am currently reading a different book right now, and I kind of have to force myself to finish it because it's an arc. So let's hope that that puts me back in the reading mood. Question number 7 is a book that I haven't read because it's humongous. And I already mentioned Game of Thrones and Brandon Sanderson. But additionally, I'm going to add A Plague of Giants by Kevin Hearn. So I believe this is a series, and the one thing that I love about this is when Page Habit was still a thing, if you guys know what Page Habit is, it's basically, it was a book box that had the authors make custom sticky notes to put in so that when you're reading it, you would also get the author's insight. So it's all filled and tabbed, but it's a gigantic, like it's heavy, and it's really not like that big. It's only in the 600 pages, but it feels thick. And therefore it intimidates me. And it's adult fantasy, and I think I'm going to like it. I just, I keep putting it off. That's the end of the day. That is how I am. The next one is a book that I haven't read because it was a cover buy, and then later I found out that it had negative reviews. So for this one, I honestly just realized that I guess like for an author that I have another book by for a book that I didn't like, this could also fit this one. But Splintered by A.G. Howard, I do love the cover, and I also like the concept of an Alice in Wonderland retelling. And not so much that it had poor reviews, because I don't know, I do think this one's a mixed review series. But also, I mean, I guess that is kind of why I've been putting it off, because I really did not enjoy her Roseblood, I think that's what it was called, and I already unhauled it. It was a Phantom of the Opera retelling, and I did not like it at all. It just didn't drive with me. For my love of Phantom of the Opera, I thought I'd just like try to take it in directions that I did not want it to go. And that's why I kind of am hesitant to pick this one up now too, because I do think that like this has some polarizing reviews, and because I didn't like the first one, I don't know if I'm gonna like this one. And question number 10 is the most intimidating book that I have in my TBR pile. And I mean, can I just put like myself to shame and just say this room is putting me to shame and like I'm embarrassed by it, because I have a lot of books to read, guys. Like there's so many. It's a disgrace, honestly. I think I'm going to have to say the Aragon series, specifically Eldest and Beyond, because one, they're all big chunkers, and also I already tried to read this. There's a bookmark in there. And then I picked it up on audio because I thought maybe I would get through it a little bit more, but I think I only ended up getting through like 100 some pages because I could not take the narrator voicing Saphira. It infuriated me. But I would definitely say this is the most intimidating because, like I said, other than it being thick and chunky, the first one, and even this one a little bit, it just was kind of boring. There's just a lot of, like, journeying and some things that I thought could have been cut down necessarily. Not that it's bad, it just, I have to be in the mood for it, I think, and I don't know when that mood's going to strike again after I already started reading the series once. So I would probably have to say this is my most intimidating, and I really don't want to unhaul these, because I do feel like if I ever have kids one day, or if I ever have, like, any nieces or nephews who might be interested in reading, this could be one that they will enjoy. But I also don't keep books just for that reason. So, we'll see. We'll see. So, there you have it. I'm pretty sure we just knocked this tag out of the park, because I think this might have been the fastest I've tried to talk. And I apologize if now you're wondering, like, oh my god, what just happened? But yeah, so there's a little bit more to get to know me and all of the books that I still have to read. And like I said, there's a lot back there. I think this shelf that I have, which you guys can't see, but it's like behind my computer, I think that has the most read books as a section in this whole room, because otherwise they're just all intermingled. I do not separate what books I need to read versus the ones I've had. I don't even really have a scheme. It just, things go places, and that's it. And that's how I do it. So yeah. Anyway, I definitely would love to hear what you guys are anticipating reading, or any books that you're kind of nervous to read and why. Is it because they're too big? Did they get negative reviews? Did you just kind of buy it and then lost interest? Because trust me, I do that all the time. And also let me know down below if you think I should continue with the City of Brass series by S.A. Chakraborty, or the Ember and the Ashes series by Sabaa Tahir. Maybe I'll try to leave a poll. I've never done a poll before, but that would be fun. I'm going to try to leave a poll, and you guys let me know, and maybe it'll be on my TBR list for like July into August. And hopefully by the end of the summer, you guys will see me continue on with the series. But anyway, guys, that is all for today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this video. And until next time, I'll see you then. Bye.